people always say they want to do something like, but I just realized like the best people, you have to become obsessed with your craft if you really want to succeed in it and make the most out of it. Like you want the most money or you like reading books, you're gonna have to be able to do that every day. It can't just be like a hobby, you know. And that's what my big brother Lemmy told me. He said, man, if you want to be best, you can't training one times a day. That's a hobby, man. I said, you want this to be your profession. You should be in there grinding at least 3 times a day. And that really hit home and it made me just really want to grind. Like, do I want to live a normal life or do I want to change my family's life forever? Because they're a huge motivation for me. Like even throughout high school, like I just wanted to be the first person in my family to go to college for free. And I knew my mom didn't have money to grow up. Sometimes we barely even had food for us, you know? So I was like, I gotta do this for mom. She made so many sacrifices just to finally get me home. The least I can do is go to college for and show my brothers what to do.
Hello and welcome to another exclusive interview by Recovery Today Magazine at recoverytodaymagazine.com, where first and foremost, we're magazine hope. Whether you're considering addiction recovery for yourself or a loved one, maybe you're actively in recovery a little while or a long, long time, you're going to find all kinds of topics related to addiction, recovery, really living a happy, successful life here at Recovery Today. My name is Rob Hanley. I'm the editor-in-chief of Recovery Today, and as usual, joined by a really, really cool guest who I believe is going to be destined for greatness, actually just getting all the info about him. He's a professional mixed martial artist who fights by the name of T-wrex. He's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and he competes in the lightweight division. 26 years old, and when he joined the Ultimate Fighting Championship in 2021 this year, he fought 4 times, all within 98 days, and the 4 fights have lasted a total of 1 minute and 52 seconds. He's also died 2 times due to drugs and alcohol. He has a powerful story that he now shares with youth all around the Spokane area where he lives. My guest today is Terrance McKinney. Thanks for jumping on, dude.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. Pleasure's all mine, man.
Yeah, man. So, I was watching some of your reels. I was watching some of your fights. Every one of them was just like bing, bang, boom, done. And it was like, it was over, like really, really good stuff. And then, me being in the Seattle area, you over on the other side of the mountains in Spokane, that was kind of a little bit of a shock. Everybody seems to be from, Vegas or LA or something like that. But I was really intrigued when I started reading your story, man. I mean, you're a young dude, you're well-spoken. And then I just started going through the whole thing. So for those that are not really necessarily up on UFC or MMA or, obviously you at all, like tell us a little bit of your story, man.
I think I started fighting in 2017. I've been fighting professionally like for 4 years now. And it was just a good outlet for me because like I had like a lot of inner demons I was facing, probably a lot of anger that I didn't know I had to deal with. And I feel like just fighting just helped me forgive people, because it's just like a good escape for me. It was like I was able just to let everything go and like I was like, this is my way out. And it's just been a fun ride, and it's just a humbling sport, And once you can humble yourself, I feel like you can take a lot more greater leaps in life, And that's what I love about the sport because it makes you really think about a lot of stuff.
How did you get into it, man? I know that you didn't grow up, reading your bio. I know that you didn't grow up like silver spoon or nothing like that. Seemed kind of rough, but take us back a little bit before. I mean, you're a professional. You get paid to kick guys' asses. That's basically what it boils down to. Yeah. But what's kind of got to be fun, actually, except for they hit back sometimes too. But take us back a little bit to like your background, because like I said, you didn't grow up. It wasn't the easiest type of a life. Your mom had you like when she was really, really young. So give us a little bit of the bio, kind of pre-fight kind of stuff, if you will.
I got you. So I was born in Chicago and my mom had me at 16. So like, she didn't really know what she was doing. So I stayed with my mom probably for like till I was like 1. And then she joined the army and and I had to stay with my grandma for a while. And like I said, like we had my grandma had 12 kids. My grandma had, so I was living with 11 kids, man.
God, man.
11 kids. And I was like, at one point, I stopped asking for clothes. I was like, yeah, because once you get new clothes, everyone had new clothes. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna start getting the action figures, something I know I can like. Yeah, that's not. It can mix in the laundry with 12 people. Everything's everybody. So I was like, I had to start selecting the gifts I wanted for my mom separately.
That's
Because
hilarious, man.
growing up with 13, growing up with like 12 kids in the house was not easy. Like, and I always was like in fights, trying to get my stuff. And I was the run of the group. So I definitely took my fair share of L's.
Too funny, man. So you started fighting at an early age, man. So how then from like going 12 kids, fighting for your clothes and all the kind of whatnot like that, how take us a little bit to, how did you decide UFC? What were you doing before? I mean, UFC it's like the NFL of mixed martial arts, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's correct.
it is the big leagues, right? So how did that happen? That doesn't just happen by accident.
Yeah. I used to be training like 3 times a day. Like I got to now, but I just knew I wanted it. Like you can't. People always say they want to do something like, but I just realized like the best people, you have to become obsessed with your craft if you really want to succeed in it and make the most out of it. Like you want the most money or you like reading books, you're gonna have to be able to do that every day. It can't just be like a hobby. And that's what my big brother Lemmy told me. He said, man, if you want to be a best, you can't training 1 time a day. That's a hobby, man. I said, you want this to be your profession. You should be in there grinding at least 3 times a day. And that really hit home and it made me just really want to grind. Like, do I want to live a normal life or do I want to change my family's life forever? Because they're a huge motivation for me. Like even throughout high school, like I just wanted to be the first person in my family to go to college for free. And I knew my mom didn't have money to grow up. Sometimes we barely even had food for us. So I was like, I gotta do this for mom. She made so many sacrifices just to finally get me home. The least I can do is go to college for and show my brothers what to do.
So let me stop kind of right there a little bit because I'm always intrigued about kind of the motivation and what makes people tick and this drive kind of behind them a little bit. I think that it also is part of the addict mind a little bit too. And it might be kind of a weird question, but like, what is it that's different? But so you got 12, you're around, 12 other little kids that are all growing up in the same household as you. I don't know, maybe they're all brain surgeons and they're senators or they're done all kinds of great things. But what is it that makes you different than just the average person thinking like, I don't want to just have a nice life. I don't want to just, get by. I don't want to just survive. But like, what is it wired within you that you think that like, I just want to be the best, man? Do you know?
The stuff yeah, I do. Just seeing the stuff I saw growing up, and I just was like, I just never want. I just knew I wasn't always able to get like what I wanted, and it kind of sucks sometimes, and it hurts you deep. And I know like deep down, like my mom did want to give me those gifts. They wanted to give me that, and just seeing them not be able to do that, even though I know they wanted to so badly, it just made me just like want to make a difference for my kids, like so they don't have to experience that, so I don't have to put that stress on my money and my heart, because I know my mom loved me to death, and if she could have bought the stuff I wanted growing up, she would have.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just kind of comes from a need, like, in like, being young, like this sucks. And I don't want my kids to go through this. Like, is that kind of the main kind of motivation?
Yeah, just like now and now, look, she was literally put my heart out for us. At one point, my mom was in the homeless veterans program, and now like my mom's doing just to see her coming from being a gang member, getting stabbed in the neck, almost dying, getting her hand broken with a bat by gang members, to being as successful as she is today, and that's huge motivation for me.
Yeah, I read
Like,
about your mom, man. Your mom's famous herself, you know.
yeah, my mom be doing big things, like, sure.
Yeah,
She's like
yeah. I didn't realize
motivated.
I didn't realize that she was a gang member. When I heard that, you know, she had you at 15, 16, I was like, dang, that's, you know, you're just a, you know, dumb kid, 15, 16, having another kid. God, man, that's rough already, man. Big time. Yeah. So you started wrestling in high school, was like the first thing, found out you were good. So what's up? Take us a little bit in that. And I'm going to jump into I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of your recovery story too, man.
Okay. So I started wrestling like in middle school, but I was not very good. And then finally, like I got to do one tournament because I was fighting a lot. So they let me do the last tournament of the year, and I won Spokaloo. And then after that, I was like, oh, I might be able to do this.
Spokaloo is like Spokaloo is Spokane. It's like a big event around Spokane, right? Spokaloo.
Yeah, for like the middle schools here.
All right, got it.
And then I won that. And then my freshman year, I'm thinking I'm the man. And my season, I start out, I'm getting smoked. It was a whole different league once I reached high school. I was like, these guys know how to wrestle. these kids are heading towards being grown men. So I was about to quit wrestling my freshman year. I think I was like 0-5.
Okay.
Getting worked.
So what turned around? Yeah.
What turned around is my coach talked me into staying, and then like I'm wrestling this duel against CV, and I'm getting smacked again. I'm not gonna lie. And there's like 6 or 10 seconds left. I take this kid down and pin him. And this is the first time we beat Central Valley in like 20 years, like ever in wrestling. And everyone was picking me up, jumping, going crazy. And after that, I was hooked, you know, because I knew they loved me and they were actually happy for me, you know. And I didn't get to always see that growing up because I was like a hothead, always fighting, and I was addicted to that because I finally saw I made someone proud and they're happy for me, you know.
So let's jump into. So now you're going through. You're in college. You're you know getting you know pretty damn good. What about the Olympics, man? Why not the Olympics then?
I actually did qualify to wrestle for Greco and for the Olympics. I just didn't fundraise enough money to at least go try out.
Oh, you got to go somewhere like where?
Yeah, because you got to bring them. You got to fundraise and stuff. Because like I said, my mom wasn't about to fly me out to go do all that stuff at the time.
It ain't just about being really, really good. You got to have a little bit of resources.
You got to have a little bit of resources.
Got to have a little resources. So where did the idea of fighting in the MMA and all that come from?
Actually came. I wanted to fight after I saw Mike Kessler win the Ultimate Fighter show because he was assistant coach there, and he wrestled at Shado, and just to see that he was just from our small town when he went out there and won the Ultimate Fighter show.
Now, is that the small like non-existent town? Like that's a tiny ass town that you grew up originally?
I grew up originally in Lionsville, Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I saw Mike win it for Spokane, the Ultimate Fighter show, I was like, yeah, I'm trying to fight. I want to chase that feeling because I was already addicted to that feeling. Like I told you after we beat CV, and just to see that amazing feeling, just to see pure happiness, like so happy that tears come out. And I was like, I never got to experience such happiness, and I wanted to experience that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're a young dude, you're having some success. When did this incident where you died twice, when did that happen? And how did that happen actually in relation to, was that was before you started fighting in the UFC? I mean, give us a little bit of the chronology of how this.
Okay. This was my freshman year of college. I think I was like 19. I had to turn 20.
Mm-hmm.
And because like, I didn't have a lot of freedom growing up, because mom was strict. Like, we got to go to church, we got to do everything right. Because at one point, she's working for the school board. So, like, she was on my head, like, at all times. Like, I wasn't going nowhere. Because my mom grew up in the streets, so she already know how kids do. So, like, once I got that freedom in
You
college,
can't
I
put
kind of,
anything past her.
yeah, like yeah, exactly. She knows. And once I got to college, I got a lot of freedom, and that's kind of where I kind of experiment and start doing way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is before the UFC stuff then, or you're still
Yeah.
wrestling or what?
Yeah, this is when I was wrestling. I was 19,
Okay.
college. So
So
it's about
take,
7 years ago.
so take us to this kind of this pivotal moment, man, where you decided, like, you died twice. Give us the nitty gritty on that.
So after I died twice, I was
Well, first of all,
high.
how did it happen? How did it happen?
I think it was I don't think it's really the drugs, but I think it was just like the overall event and me fighting the cops for hours, getting tased. I think it's just a lot of combination factors. Me getting choked while I'm tripping out to get in the hospital for them to get me in the ambulance. Uh, but yeah, it was an intense night. I thought I was tripping, pretty much dreaming the whole time on the couch, and I
So
wake
what were you
up.
guys doing that night then? So you're partying that night. What are you on? What are you doing?
I'm already drinking and smoking, and then I take like a vial of acid, and then like overnight the shrooms.
Shrooms and acid and a little bit of alcohol. Yeah,
Yeah. So, and it
that'll
was in the
kind of do it.
summer, so
So
it was
what
in
I
the
had
summer.
read online was that you put your head through a window or something. You don't have any idea how that happened, and that's how
No,
you.
I remember how that happened.
Okay.
So like this, I'm chilling in the living room and I'm changing the channel and it's not working, and then like these demon figures come out of nowhere, and they're staring at me, and so I was like, oh hell no. So I start praying out loud, right? And these things make me speak a whole nother language.
You're praying in tongues.
I don't know what it was, man, but it was not English.
Okay, so you're having this trip, you're watching TV, the demons come out, and you start speaking all kinds of whatnot, some other language.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
okay, interesting. And then what?
And then I was like, all right, bet I'm just gonna pray in my head. I'm a smart kid, you know. And I started praying in my head, and I was like, all right, I don't care. Obviously, they're not leaving. So I was like, I stood up. I was like, I'm not afraid of you, man. I was like, I'm not afraid of you guys. It's like, cause I know, like, I always grew up in church. I believe in God, you know. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not scared. I don't know what you guys think it is. And I stood up and I went to walk towards him, and my body just shuts down. And I feel like the whole of my body shaking, like it was weird. It was the craziest thing. I'll never forget it. Like I just felt my body like pretty much getting overwhelmed, like shaking, and my body shut down. I had to watch myself fall through a window, and I knocked myself out, and I can just feel like it just feels like all reality was just melting in a circle.
And so there's blood all over you, the cops come, and then you died, right?
Yeah.
Died in the so is this the kind of the whole thing that started where like I'm done with drugs and alcohol? Kind of I'm looking for kind of like the Rocky music starts, it's a left turn in your life, you're changing, take us through, kind of tell us a little bit some of that, man.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. After that, like, I think I did go cold turkey for like 6 something months, and then once I went back to school, like, I wasn't doing like the same like hard drugs or like experiment, but I still like smoked weed and like drank.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when I really like I said, I've been sober for like a year now, because like I got a couple DUI charge, but like God bless me, and I got them both to like reckless driving. So like I'm in treatment right now. So I've been sober for a year, going through that, and
You're in
I can't lie.
treatment now.
Huh?
You're in treatment now, you're saying?
Yeah, I think I got like a month left before I graduate.
Okay. Okay. So what are the plans after you graduate then?
Um, my plans after that is to where we're looking. I'm talking to Excelsior right now, and I'm looking to start a program for youth, well, 18-year-old up to 25s, so I can mentor them and teach them how to defend themselves in like a way so they can build self-control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they can have a different outlet instead of doing drugs. So I'm like working on saving money for that and getting this gym built.
Oh, okay. You're building a gym. So you're going to do
Yeah.
your own outreach for kids. And so what's the message to kids on drugs then? Like, how do you, you can't really tell them just say no. Like, what's the message?
Yeah. 'Cause I just want to know, like, I understand, like, it's not always easy to say no, and like, and especially in a generation like we're in, I know how easily we can succumb to being drawn into that kind of crowd. So I just want them to know, like, they're not alone, and just to start hanging out with people that are trying to better their life and they want the same goals, because that's that's what I would learn to teach them. Like, that's like, you ask, if you actually want to quit, because I know deep down, like, people always want to quit who's on recovery. It's just, you have to cut people off. Like, it sucks. Like, you're gonna feel alone at time, and I want them to not be alone and when they're feeling that, and that's why I want to build this gym for them.
Is that how you felt then? Where does that come from?
Yeah, it was hard, because like I had to get new friends, because like you can't expect to quit if you're around people just doing the same thing you're trying to not do. It's it's almost impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they say that you become like those that you hang around with, right?
Exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
I want those kids to have someone to hang out with, have people they can talk to.
Do you feel
When
like you're a pretty decent role model right now at this time for those kids? You're 26 and they're 18. Do you feel like what are your feelings of worthiness or whatnot like that? Just for introspective, not from me at all, but like, what do you think?
um, you know, I don't think like anyone can be like, I just think like my position, my story, I feel like deems worthy enough for them to accept me, because like it'd be just weird for me to say, yeah, all this, and I haven't experienced nothing. How could I speak to them and tell them how they feel? How can I relate to them if I haven't experienced? So yeah, I think I'm worthy enough to
So the
be
whole
this.
idea, what makes you worthy then a little bit is like, I've gone through a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, it's, because it's hard for, I remember when I was younger, it's hard for me to listen to someone that's not out there doing it, and they haven't experienced. Like, how you gonna tell me like this what I need to do when you never been in this situation?
What do
You
you
don't
find
know.
the hardest part when you're talking to these kids to get through to them? Like you talk about like this generation today. Personally, I don't think it's all that different than lost you on video.
Sorry, someone was calling me.
Oh,
Like,
okay. So what's the difference? We can cut it out or maybe we'll leave it. But what's the difference, do you think, between now and like say like when your mom was young? You talk about like kids these days today, but I don't know, man. Like what's different about kids today, and what do you find the hardest thing to get through to them where they're actually going to listen?
I would say pride is huge with a lot of kids these days, because like phones and stuff, so they think they know everything.
They
Just
think
because
they know.
they
That's
read.
true. They think they freaking know. I think probably kids from all of eternity have always thought they know everything, but now they got info like this.
It's a lot worse, because they just think they know stuff by what they looked off online, and
Yeah.
and most of that stuff's not incredible, and they think they know something, and then that's where they make that huge mistake.
Yeah. They read some shit online and then it shapes their whole opinion. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And so what do you tell them? How do you break through that then when when you're trying to reach these kids and you can tell when you're talking to them too, they ain't listening to you, man. What do you do to break through?
I think it's a lot easier for me to break through with kids, is because like I look young, so like it's just a lot easier, and it's not like I just don't force like the topic on them, you know.
Yeah.
I develop a relationship with these kids instead of just being on them about drugs. Like, don't do that, you know.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's not the approach you take, and I just.
Does it surprise them kind of your whole thought on drugs and stuff like that then? And like living, like trying to not just don't do drugs, but like get your shit together and, you know, do your best and hard work and all of the things that at least I know would have to happen in order to reach the level that you've reached so far in the UFC, and you're still a young dude. So you got a lot of runway left. Like, does it surprise them that you're that you have kind of this whole persona, you know, this whole, you know, what your philosophy is?
Yeah, I think I definitely surprised people with, because you know, like, people judge book by its cover. Like, when they look young, they don't expect you to have that much knowledge, you know. And knowledge also comes from experiencing. And I feel like also knowledge comes from being humble. You got to be willing to listen and learn, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of these kids are messing up at. They don't want to listen.
Well, good stuff, man. What are you going to do? What's the goal in the UFC?
I want to be the first person ever to hold 3 different belts in 3 different weight classes before I retire.
Who's your favorite fighter, man?
Right now, my favorite fighter is Israel Adesanya.
Do you fight like him, I guess, maybe, or
I say I kind of take a lot of stuff from McGregor
okay.
and John Jones.
So you're constantly modeling yourself after other dudes. You're like, yeah, I kind of have that in my playbook a little bit. I can enhance my craft in that way.
Exactly, very detail oriented person. So like, if I something that works in my game, I'll take it.
Are MMA guys like football players? Do they watch a lot of film then, I guess, too?
Not me. I think it's more our coaches watch the film because they'll watch it a little bit more different than we will. Like, I'll watch a fight, I'll watch it, I'm like, I'm bored.
Oh, wow, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, man. Are you runs a lot, kind of in the kind of the addictive type of personality? Are you ADD too?
Yeah, I got ADHD.
Yeah. Then again, man, you're gonna find out.
But I did grow out of it though. Like,
yeah,
I'm a lot more common than I've ever been.
you're gonna find out, man, that most everybody's got it. At least most all like achiever people, entrepreneurs, very, very, very common, man. Cause we get bored doing stuff pretty easily, is why I ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good deal, man. Well, what's your message like to kids, man? If somebody's out there, they're a parent, maybe, what would you tell a parent that's got a kid that's kind of struggling or something like that? I mean, you're goal oriented, all about being the best. You've got a year sober right now. What would be your message to like a parent that's struggling with a kid? Maybe they can't get through it all. What would you tell somebody? Or even a young dude themselves. We've got people that, read the magazine that are, early 20s, late teens even. But what's your message, man?
I would say you have to let your kid make mistakes. That way they're not, they had the freedom. That way they're not making mistakes when they're older. You gotta let them live. You gotta let them learn. Because you don't, that's where kids get taken advantage of. Because like they don't know. You can't know if you don't live the experience. So, and if the parents taken away, they'll never know how to say no. And they're like, oh no, that don't work for me. They'll never know if you don't let them live their life. And that's why they try to escape and do stuff.
So you need to let them make mistakes, is what you're saying?
You gotta.
The problem a little bit with that though, man, is that we're talking about like Russian roulette with, in this subject with drugs and alcohol and whatnot. And, it's like make a mistake and it can be fatal. That's
exactly. That's true as well. It goes both ways. Like you're saying, like it's a dangerous world out here.
Yeah. Your mom though, what do you came from a strict family. Do you think that it's better for parents or for kids to grow up in families that are strict, or like, hey, just do it, you know, like make your own mistakes?
That I feel like, yeah, there got to be a healthy balance of both.
Healthy balance of both.
Yeah.
You got to have a little bit of fear of God of your mom or your dad, probably. She's gonna whip your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a lot of old school.
No, I think kids. I'm not saying beat the crap out or kill them, but
I'm talking
I
figuratively.
think kids should get spanking. They talk about it in the Bible too, like spare the rod, spare the child, right? Spare the
Yeah,
rod, spare the child. Yeah. So,
I'm
and
guessing with I'm
I think
guessing with
that's
the
true.
mom that was like had been in gangs and then went to the army and stuff like that. She probably didn't play too much, huh?
Not at all.
Easy to tell your friends, like, no, man, my mom will whip my ass.
My mom would shut down the whole school, have them listening.
That's good stuff, man. Well, hey, man, thanks for taking a minute to jump on. How do people connect with you, and what's up with all that? Where do they go?
If you wanna follow me on Instagram, it's T_Rex 155, and then it's t-wrex 155. On my Twitter, and for Facebook, it's just Terrance McKinney. If you guys want to add me on there.
Okay, T-Rex, I
Yeah,
like that, man.
t-wrex 155.
T-Rex 155, and we'll put all the links to your website and all the kind of whatnot like
Yeah.
that in there now too. Right on, man. Well, thanks a ton for jumping on. This has been another cool, fun, interesting interview at Recovery Today with Terrance McKinney. And dude, big stuff for the future, man. All the best for you. If you hang on 1 second, I'll stop the recording.